Welcome to Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Meghan Payton. We've got a Rams versus Seahawks preview coming up, but I want you guys to get your early score predictions in. This is our pinned comment on today's video, so we're going to be going through all of your responses. Let us know what you think the score is going to be for the Rams versus the Seahawks Thursday night game. The Rams are going to be taking on the Seahawks, or the Seahawks are going to be taking on the Rams, whatever you want to say, this Thursday night. This is a key matchup. This is a big divisional game for the Seahawks. They're coming off of a great win against the San Francisco 49ers. The Rams are coming off of their first loss against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this is going to be a tougher game, in my opinion, than the 49ers. Right now, it's a home game for Seattle, and the Rams are still favorites. They're favorites at -2. Right now, the over-under is set at 54. So I think you just look at this team and you go, the Rams have been playing really good football. Now, Seattle's obviously a great team too, and I think Russell's going to show up, and we're going to see a great performance by the offense. But the Rams are doing well this year, especially on the offensive side of the ball. They are 7th right now in the league points per game. They're putting up at 28.8 average. And you take a peek at just some of the other stuff they've done, just passing yards, they're doing great, 298.3. Now, rushing yards, this is where the Rams are struggling. So I think this is going to be important for the Seahawks to kind of, captivate on that. But guys like Kupp, he's doing great. And Matthew Stafford, they are connecting really well. So it's going to be important for the Seahawks offense to be playing well as well. And if you look at what they're doing, it's good. Now, I think that these stats are a little bit skewed just because of the kind of tough games that the Seahawks have had. And I don't mean tough, meaning tough teams to play. I just mean the way that the Seattle Seahawks have been playing. It's a work in progress. So yeah, right now it's not great. They're averaging 25.8 points per game. They're 19th in the league for total yards per game, and it's tied for 17th. So it's not bad, but it's not great. But I do think that this is only going to improve for Seattle. Now, on the defensive side of things, both the Rams and Seahawks are struggling. We talk about Seattle's defense being a problem a lot and how they kind of were able to help out a little bit last week, step up their game. But the Rams are struggling here too. They are 19th in the league for points per game allowed, 24.8. They are allowing 123.5 rushing yards per game. So their rushing defense is not great right now, and really just their overall defense. But to be fair, Seattle's isn't great either. Right now, they are actually last for total yards allowed, 444.5. So it's not good. But I do think that just those first, or those week 2, week 3 games for Seattle really, obviously brought down their average in the defensive stats, but I think that it's getting better. I do, however, think you look at these two teams, the Rams and the Seahawks, this is going to be an offensive matchup. There is no doubt about it. To me, this is definitely going to come down to Russell versus Stafford and who can put up more points. The defense is struggling on both sides of the ball. But now that we've gone over a little bit of just, offensive stats for Rams, offensive stats for Seahawks, the defensive side of things, update your score if you already predicted. Let me know if you've changed your mind. And if you haven't, make sure you get your score predictions in. Like I said, this is the pinned comment on today's video. We're going to be going through all of your guys' scores, and we'll see after Thursday night's game who is closest and if any of you guys are able to call the correct score. But now it's time for my keys to victories for the Seahawks to come up on top against the Rams, a very difficult team to play in a very competitive division like we talk about all the time. The number one, I think, is going to be time of possession. We talk about that a lot. That was a big factor in the Vikings' loss for Seattle, just their ability to get the ball and keep the ball and, get that defense off the field as quick as possible. So to me, time of possession is key. Time of possession is going to determine who can take an advantage in what I think is going to be a very high scoring, very much an offensive matchup game. And Russell Wilson is doing great. He's a dominant quarterback. We talk about him all the time, but he's put up 1,044 yards so far, 72.5 completion percentage. He's had 9 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a QB rating of 129. So we obviously love what we're seeing from Russell Wilson, but we do have to be nervous about the guy on the other side for the Rams. That is Matthew Stafford, newly acquired quarterback from the Lions. And he's fitting in well with this Rams offense. He's put up 1,222 yards, 11 touchdowns. He has had 2 interceptions. His quarterback rating is 117.6. But to me, this game is going to be a shootout. I don't care how much you want to talk about the defense. Both teams are struggling. It is going to be your classic just back and forth. I'm getting a feeling that it's going to be similar to that Rams-Chiefs game back in 2018, 2019, that Monday night game where they put up a ton of points. I feel like that could be a potential scenario for this Rams-Seahawks game. So who's going to put up more yards? Is it going to be our guy, Russell Wilson, or is it going to be Matthew Stafford? If you think it's going to be Russell, and I hope it is, go to the comments and type RW. And if you think Stafford is going to come up on top when it comes to yards, go into the comments and press MS. Now, this would be a fun game to bet on. I don't know if you are betting on this game specifically, but if you are betting at all this year, make sure you check out BetUS. BetUS is doing an incredible deal right now where if you go to chatsports.com/bet, use the promo code Seahawks125. You've got to use that code. You are going to get a 125% deposit bonus. That means you put up $100, they're going to give you $125 in free betting money. You've got a total now of $225 to bet on whatever you'd like. Bet on this game, bet on player props, bet on whatever you want, but make sure you check out BetUS. My second key to victory for the Seahawks to win against this Rams team is covering Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp has been really good this year, and he is fitting in really well with Matthew Stafford. He's already had 431 yards. He's averaging 14.5. He's had 5 touchdowns, 30 receptions. And I'm telling you, I really think that Matthew Stafford likes to throw to Kupp. Sean McVay has really developed him, I'd say, in the offseason. So this is someone that you have to worry about. The Cardinals were able to kind of shut him down last week. That was the first time we've seen him getting the coverage that he hasn't had in the past. So I think that this is going to be an important key for Seattle, but it's also an area that we talk about that is very much still a work in progress for the Seahawks. That cornerback room is struggling, but we're seeing more out of Sidney Jones after Pete Carroll decided to bench Trey Flowers. Now, Quandre Diggs had a really dominant game last week, so hopefully he will step up. Jamal Adams, DJ Reed, these are all people that are going to be key into shutting down such a dominant Rams offense. And that's, I think, one of the most important things that can happen. And that is going to maybe be the difference maker as far as who comes up on top. And hey, we have recaps for you for this game. We are going to have rumors, news, all of this stuff. And this is every single week. I told you guys earlier, we are on the road to 23,000 subscribers. So help us out. We are giving you guys free content. Subscribe to this channel now, and we will keep you updated all season long. Next up for the Seahawks to win against the Rams is they need to take advantage of the run. Now, before you guys get mad at me and say, hey, that didn't work out so great last week with Chris Carson, I want to say that it's important to know when to use it and against which teams you're playing. Now, we talked about the Rams defense is not good right now at shutting down the run whatsoever. Their defense isn't doing great overall, but specifically shutting down the run has been a problem for the Rams. So I say, hey, this is a time to really see more of Chris Carson, Alex Collins, and we saw what they did last week. Now, Chris Carson he didn't have a great game. He only averaged 2.3 yards last game. He did have 13 carries, 77 yards. I'm sorry, that's Alex Collins, but Chris Carson only had 13 carries, I believe, the whole entire game. But Alex Collins is a guy that I think could actually be more dominant than Chris Carson. He had an average of 4.4 yards last game. He had a touchdown, 77 yards so far in 2021. So I think take advantage of the run. If I am Pete Carroll, I am saying this is an important time to utilize those guys and just get some, early points on the game, and also kind of run the timeout. We talked about time of possession being a thing. If we can take more time off, keep the ball in bounds, I think that'll be a big key. Who do you think that you guys trust more, though, when it comes to Seattle running backs? Do you guys trust Chris Carson more, or do you guys trust Alex Collins? Go to the comments right now. If you like Collins, type 32. And if you like Carson, type 32, Collins 41. I'm going Collins here. I think that Collins is a guy that we're going to just keep seeing more and more out of as the year goes on. Lastly, for the Seahawks to beat the Los Angeles Rams, they need improvement from the pass rush. And this is going to be hard. This is hard with injuries. In the video that we did yesterday, you can go out and check that out for a full injury update. But Darrell Taylor, he did not practice on Monday. He's dealing with an ankle injury. This is a guy that has been more dominant in the pass rush. So I think that if we don't get to see him Thursday, it's going to be a problem. And this is where a short week hurts you. Guys don't have as much time to recover. Carlos Dunlap, he was a limited participant on Monday, but he's dealing with that turf toe. He sprained his toe. So I don't know, even if he is out there, is he going to be 100%? We're unsure, but this is an area that I do think that Seattle has to improve upon just to create some pressure up front. And we're going to see it from guys like Poona Ford, Rasheem Green, Al Woods, now Benson Mayowa. We don't know his status, if he's going to be playing in this game. And this is where injuries become a problem to me. This is where I think the Rams are going to struggle. And because it's going to be such an offensive matchup, and because it's going to be a shootout, in my opinion, if the defense can't do anything, it's going to be a problem. So like we said, the Rams are favorites right now at -2. The over-under is set at 54. This is Thursday Night Football in Seattle. Give me who you guys think is going to win. We gave you guys score predictions earlier on. We told you to go to the comments, but I do want to know just who's going to win. If it's going to be the Seahawks, type S, and if it's going to be the Rams, type R. Now, do not hate me when I say this, because I am very, very pro Seahawks, and I hope my answer is wrong. But I think that the Seahawks are going to play really well, but I think the Rams right now are just a little bit of a better team. I have the Rams coming up on top this week, beating Seattle 30-27.